Hi, and welcome back to an episode of the Guys Book Club in the World. Book Club. Yeah! And today, guys, we're extremely special episode. Because today, guys, we're on episode number 238, 83. And I have to tell you guys, I really have only 20 minutes to record the podcast because it's only almost Shabbos. And I need to turn off the computer. And yesterday, I didn't record an episode. It was a Thursday, it was Thursday, and I missed the episode of Thursday. So now I'm complete what I missed. So I'm really short on time, so let's go. Guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're already familiar with the channel, welcome back. My name is Zach, and I'm the host, and this podcast, guys, we're together on an English speaking level and communication skills yourself on the camera, through the camera. This is because the truly brings English number two, the physical, one smart, one, not to the physical life, and the second two is that one for that, it's already communicated through the camera. And guys, if you take these skills combined, and you combine them together, you can create great content to the internet, and you can influence billions of people around the world. So I recommend to do it. And I think that by sharing with you guys my own struggle, my own journey to become a master in English speaking and reading, and to become a master communicator on the camera, I inspire other people to do the same. Because you see, I showed you my failures, my success, my obstacles, my challenges, overcome, my tips, what I learned from doing the process, and I inspire other people. Yeah, the lady and gentlemen that are watching the podcast, I am inspiring you to do the same, to also share with the world. So do it. You guys, today we have this grand background, and they will come. Say, AK, you want to join to the book club border, the AK book club border, and welcome. And if you want to check them out, you know where is the AK book club border, you know where you can find them, and get 321 club name, you can find them a good fun. And this is a great background of the good fun by now the Cisco 1701 on 3rd of October 2019. Download already 2,400 times, and you found out, and of course they like it. Guys, if you want to download the pictures, actually need to choose the resolution over here. Press download. Right click on the picture, שמירת אנשים למעשה pictures in English and tap them from the language I want it in our language. Person it, I don't see it, never mind. So let's do it really fast. You see, right click on the picture, save, and tap them and yeah, and tap them from the I want it in our language, the picture is in your language, and you're going to guess from your own board. Press save, and come just like that, you will get this grand background complete. Thank you very much for the artist who made this grand background. Thank you very much for Cisco 1701 for sharing this with us. And today we continue our journey with the next five movies by Patrick David. Really good book, I really enjoy it, and I recommend to check them out. And guys, if you want to check out this grand background, don't forget to check out Patrick David social media account. And you know, I really recommend to check them out because the only social media account Patrick David shows us huge amount of knowledge. So it's highly recommended to check them out. And if you want to check out the book, you got all the links in the description below, so make sure to check them out and like them. And guys, if any one of you have suggestions for improve myself on the podcast, or if any one of you want to come to the podcast, be against the podcast channel, message you want to start on the podcast, or just about that, if you guys guy in English, please know the comment so we can manage it. And of course, feel free to show them the world, and maybe you learn something nice that I said, or maybe ask what you learned for the book, or maybe you have your own life lessons that you want to share with us. So feel free to do it in the comment below, so all of us can read it and can enrich our life because of it and improve our life thanks to you guys. So thank you very much. And one thing, guys, before we start the podcast, if you enjoy the podcast, if you enjoy the video, and if you want to support, if you enjoy it, so please consider to support the channel by to support and show your appreciation to the journey by like the video, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and put notification forget it, and each time the extremely exciting episode of YouTube, and you know it's going to be 5 extremely exciting episodes per week, and the 300 special are coming really soon. So guys, thank you very much, and it's really just 4 clicks from you, and it's really made a huge impact on me, so thank you very much if you can do it or consider it at least. And guys, for the introduction, I just dive right into the book. So today we're going to read your next 5 moves by Patrick by David. Read page 148 to 151. 4 pages 48, 49, 50, 51. Read. But the meat. The money said, give Mr. John, please. Give Mr. John, please. Oh boy, AK, yeah. That's me. So let's go. Title, your challenge. Most people stay the linear level. Just because you choose I don't know if it's in my PDF. I don't know. Most people stay at the linear level. Just because you choose to become an entrepreneur, that doesn't make you a visionary or a CEO. If you spend most of your time in the linear quadrants, you are not going to build much momentum. If, on the other hand, you spend all of your time in the exponential quadrants, you run the risk of not being able to support your growth. You need to look at the strategy quadrant and ask yourself, where are you and where are you and are not doing a good job? Where do you need to pivot? Do you need to create an innovative campaign? Maybe you need to look at the next 90 days and prepare for your next innovative campaign. You will be amazed by how great defining putting together a strategy for your business can be. It's exciting when your business grows and the money starts coming in. Once it starts, let me tell you, it gets very, very interesting. Title: To improve your employees' performance, apply pressure to the point of desensitization. Desensitization. How can you get your people to perform at peak capacity? How can you motivate them to make a significant improvements year after year? Those are tough questions for entrepreneurs. Maybe you try to be your people's best friend. Maybe you provide tough feedback. Maybe you offer support and encouragement. Lots of theories and are floating around about this subject, but I know what works for me. And if you can get past your desire to be liked, I bet it will work for you too. I have a friend, Chris Hayes, who played a defensive back in the NFL for 7 years. Chris played for a number of famous coaches, including Aaron Edwards and Bill Parcells. One day I asked him, who was the most difficult coach you played for? Chris didn't hesitate. Bill Belichick, he said. At the time, Belichick was an assistant to Parcells for the New York Jets. It's not even close, Chris said. His expectations were so high. It was incredibly annoying. Training and practice were freaking insane. He wanted you to be as close to perfect as possible for everything. He would pick on you for the smallest thing, but but you also knew you were going to win because you knew you wanted to win more than anybody else in the room. Because you wanted to win more than anybody else in that room. So you didn't have a problem following him. Entrepreneurs can learn a lot from a Chris experience with Bill Belichick. I know I am. I know I am. I apply pressure to my people until they become immune to it. I figure if they can put up with me, they won't have a problem with the grief they get from customers. If they can handle me, they can handle anyone. They don't get rattled. They become better leaders when they have been through my pressure cooker and they can handle a conflict better. The way I apply pressure is by asking questions and waiting for the answers. I challenge my people the same way I'm challenging you. I ask them to become clear on who they want to be and describe their next moves in detail. Once they express what they want, I use their answers to keep them accountable. I don't yell and scream. I don't impose I don't impose my goal. I don't impose my own goals on them. What I do is repeat what they said they want to accomplish. If they are falling short of their goals, I ask why and shut up. I found that getting them to self-reflect is much more powerful than telling them what to do. Ultimately, I'm teaching them to become accountable. I'm teaching them to be accountable why expectations they set for themselves. Most people don't want this accountability. Being held to the standard of being your best self is not for the faint of heart. That is why, by design, I am not easy to work for. It takes a few years for people on my team to become desensitized to the pressure. But when that happens, when that happens, they are golden. Like Bleachlick's players, they feel the intense pressure of high expectations and touch, and though they resent it at first, they become accustomed to it. They eventually realize that it's elevating. Realize that it's elevating the performance, and it results in wins for the team. After a while, the pressure no longer bothers them. And there is an even bigger bonus: the domino effect. When I apply positive pressure to one person, he applies it to another. When we added more people to the team, we apply the same pressure to them, and they in turn apply it to others. Instead of a management practice, it becomes a part of the culture. Remember that you are not doing this to hustle your team, but rather to apply the right kind of positive pressure. Bill Belichick has won 6 Super Bowls as head coach of the New York England Patriots. Do you think a quarterback Tom Brady would describe playing for Belichick as a picnic? Of course not. In fact, because Belichick was so hard on Brady, there was a multiplayer effect. When the star is challenged, everyone has to raise his game as well. As pressure is applied and the expectations are raised, this becomes the norm. Even though Brady left to join the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after 20 seasons with Belichick and the Patriots, it's fair to say that Brady and Belichick had the best run of any coach and the quarterback tandem in history. Credit Belichick for planned pressure and Brady for responding to it. Many options exist for planned pressure, providing constructive criticism, increasing results targets, asking tough questions. Keep the pressure constant by asking questions that create accountability, and you will see how people will raise their game. I realize that this might sound a bit tough and could scare some people. So I want to emphasize that it's not something that works for everyone. It has to fit both your personality and your philosophy. It will also depend. It has. It will also depend greatly on your team and culture. Again, I'm just sharing what works for me. By now, I trust you to process what I say and use your own approach. Title: Visionary leaders have a reality distortion field. A common theme in Walter Isaacson's biography of Steve Jobs is Jobs a reality distortion field. Rather than accepting others' ideas of reality or being good enough, he created his own stories and pushed others to make them true. He imposed his will on others to reprogram their expectations of themselves. And because he was not willing to accept the reality of their self-imposed limitations, they ended up surprising themselves. Being around strong CEOs who are always raising their standards can be uncomfortable. They project a feeling that no matter how hard you are working, it's not enough. People might say, every time I get somewhere, you move the marker. When are you going to be fully happy? That is what makes a strong CEO so effective. That is why Jobs might have been lauded when he was imposing deadlines, but is now revered. REVERED. Pardon this quick this digression. Pardon this quick digression, but the misconception about people getting fired, is funny to me. Most people think that the day-to-day employee is the highest chance of getting fired. But the reality is that no one is fired more often than the company founder or CEO. Every time an employee quits, for the CEO, it's a form of getting fired. Every time a customer leaves to go to a competitor, it's a form of getting fired. Every time a superstar salesperson leaves, it's a form of getting fired. Every time the company is sued, it's a form of getting fired. My point is that no one is fired more often than the CEO. When a CEO/founder loses his job, bankruptcy often follows and he or she loses everything. Whereas an employee loses only a job and simply needs to find a new one. It's important for a team to know that no one is under more pressure than the CEO. This is not to undermine them, but to let them know that the pressure is shared by everyone. Here's an example of how I challenge here's an example of how I challenge people. I was meeting with a group of employees, and I asked them, how many of you want a raise? Everyone said they wanted a raise. Okay, now do me a favor and write down the most money you ever made in a year. Don't show me, just write it down for yourself. After they did, I said, now write down how much money you would like to make annually. Again, I waited. Then I asked, why haven't you made that number yet? Is it the company's fault? Do you want me to give you the kind of answer that makes you feel good? Or do you want the truth? They asked for the truth. And guys, I want to know the truth, but the truth is that it's time to finish the podcast. So guys, thank you very much once again. I really appreciate the fact that you choose to invest your time in me, and I know that I'm going to see you all and all the friends and everyone we're going to bring to the table for the next episode of extreme episode of the Great Book in the Bone. Like a program. When we're going to know what was the answer of the truth of Peter P. David. Until the guys have a great time, take care of yourself and bye. So guys, today is Friday, 14 on the January 2022, and I know it's 4:16:02, and Shabbat is getting, and just I need to go to shower and then go to the shul to Darren. And I didn't. I wake up really late today, and I didn't have the time. I didn't study what I should have done, and I take responsibility for it. It sucks, but it's understandable, but it sucks, and I need to see how I can improve it. Anyway, I got I printed the summary of the subject, and I want to read it at least 2 times, one today and one tomorrow. This is what I need to learn from the test. On Tuesday, I'm going to read it, and yeah, it's going to be great. Anyway, guys, have a great weekend, ביי. יום שישי, 14 לינואר 2022, שעכשיו שעה 4 דקות, חייב לכם להתקלח ולהתפלל. יאללה, זה הספקתי ללמוד היום, אשמתי, נלחמתי בזמן, דיברתי לעצמי. עכשיו, הוא מצאתי את הסיכום של שיר סטסון, תודה רבה לך, שיר, שיחקתי אותה. נלמד אותה, נחזור אליהם לפחות פעמיים, אני רוצה לחזור לפחות פעמיים בשבת, ועד נושא שבת נמשיך לראות את הסרטונים. שיתנו לראות סרטונים, יום ראשון נסיים לעבור על כל הקורס בזום. ואז נראה לעבור עוד פעם על החומר, או שנזכור אותו בעל פה, נעשה את כל התוכניות של האלמנט שלנו על הזיכרון, איך לזכור דברים, ויאללה, תנו שבת שלום ונתראות. לפחות הספקתי להקליט את הפרק, אתמול הקלטתי פרק, כי למדתי, אז הספקתי להקליט פרק, אותו עליי, אחריות שלי, לקח אחריות על זה, אז הספקתי להקליט את הפרק, אבל זה באסה, כי לא, כל פעם כשאני מפספס, אז לפחות פרק בפורום שיש, נגיד אם הייתי מקליט אתמול, אז היה לי גם פרק נוסף היום להקליט. כאילו הייתי בבונוס עוד אחד, אבל לא, it is what it is, נמשיך עם הפנים הלאה, נבוא תקופת המבחנים הזו בהצלחה לפחות.